Hi, Bert. Good.
Right?
So, Bert, which is the importance of mapping?
Mapping, you map the context. So when you map anything, you go from the big picture to the small picture. You find the context of where does your observation fit in. The observation is the data you're looking at. Huh? But if you're looking at data without knowing the context, you work in a vacuum. So you need to know the context. Today in the computer world, you should have everything accessible in the virtual library. So you have to invest in the virtual library.
Does it make sense to go back and read papers that were written 30, 40 years ago when the theories were different?
The theories have nothing to do with it, it's observations. The problem is that people think you have to test a theory. So everybody is supposed to test hypotheses. That's not the way it works today, and that's not the way it ever worked. It's new data and new systems and new information. So the hypothesis is a consequence of the new information, and the information is not a consequence of the hypothesis.
That means that the new technology is driving hypotheses.
The technology drives information. If you say technology and knowledge is the same thing, or are related, say technology and knowledge is related, then you have to basically find a way by which you can preserve knowledge. And a hypothesis without knowledge, without a priori knowledge or first knowledge, is a hypothesis which is done in a vacuum. In the earth sciences anyway, or in geology.
Earth science needs to be better organized in a data management mode.
Yeah. In data management, the earth sciences are dismally poor. Well, basically with the data management now, as I see it, is data management which is so fossilized, or so embryonic, if you wish. It's like an early Ford. The first place I would go to for data management to find out is go to the Vatican. Knowledge is basically is information, right? So when you ask a question, you say, well, I need some information. I don't need a hypothesis, I need like a hole in the head. I want to know what's there before I decide what I could do with it or what it could be. I have to know what's there.
So is it important to like reuse the old methods like the hammer in the field?
No, well, of course, if you do field work, you use a hammer, right? So if you want to have that kind of detail, you go in the field and use the old method. If you want to have modern things, you get yourself like you have a machine that produces you a synthetic log of what you see in the field. Well, use it. But I say don't go out in the field where there are seismic profiles without looking at the seismic profile first. Because you need to know the context of the point which you're looking at. You need the observations. And the observations have to be done in the context.
Why did you want to go teaching?
Because I was interested in what they were doing. I was interested in plate tectonics. I want to share my experience with others.
What do you think that still remains to be accomplished?
Well, you have to integrate a lot of data and then work out some system by which you can preserve the information and pass it on. You don't want to lose information. I'm interested in information. I'm not really interested in inventing a new hypothesis. So what you do is you simply go and work on things, but then you need to present them in some form that it communicates to others. You have to be able to simplify things to a way that people don't get totally bamboozled by the old information. There's no point dumping a whole bunch of knowledge on somebody.
How do you see the earth science community right now? Do you see it as a dynamic community in terms?
No, not right now. No, right now, at least in the United States, it's driven. It's driven by what I call the NSF National Academy Cartel. It's a group of people who decides what needs to be studied.
What are key questions that are intriguing you right now?
Oh, there are lots of questions. I'm intrigued by conformities. If I had to start a new research project, which I won't, it would be basically on conformities and conformology is probably the highest priority for me.
So, Bert, the last question is, what is important in life?
Family and faith. That means religion.